pray as I sit down, you know. There's another park bench over here, y'all, and it had a big old ant on it. So I was like, this is why I don't do the outdoors, okay? So I'm over here like looking like Inspector Gadget. Ugh. Okay, so I rebuke that ant in the name of Jesus. Okay, we're just gonna hope and pray. So we're just gonna hope and pray that I don't see any more ants, because I don't do bugs, okay? That's what happens. You try and be different, you know, do a different little setting or whatever, and stuff be trying to go left. But I'm probably, oh Lord, I don't know how to feel about this. Okay. What else?
Hey you all, what's up? It's Millie here, and you are tuned into Millie Talks Truth TV. And today I'm coming at y'all with a Panera mukbang. Okay, let me get a little sip. I'm thirsty. Fighting the bugs and took a little out of me. Oh, now I'm paranoid, y'all. I kind of want to take my purse back to the car because I was trying to set up my camera. I come back and it's an ant on my sack. Oh, see, okay, we're just gonna pray. We're just gonna stay in prayer that yeah, we just gonna stay in prayer about that. Oh, I forgot about it. Okay, so I got a cinnamon bun. I'll probably eat that later. You know when you be in line and you just be getting stuff and then you be like looking back and you're like, why did I buy all of that? That was that type of moment for me. So I'm gonna set this on here because I don't trust it. Like I said, it was already some ants trying to make their way this way. So I feel like when they start smelling my salad, they're gonna be trying to do a little pop-up, okay? But oh crap, y'all. This isn't gonna work. So, okay, I think we're good now. Hope again. Let's just pray we don't come across no bugs. Okay. See what I'm talking about, y'all? Okay. So, we're back and we're better. Hold on, let's do a little thumbnail. Okay, so I decided I kind of, you know, I just wanted a little change of scenery, okay? So I'm at a park, you know, we got nature. I'm wearing green, like the leaves on the tree, you know. We out here. I got my green, this is the green Cobb salad at Panera. You know what, I just realized I did not get no bread. Usually they give me bread. I guess that's a sign I don't need none, because that's like one of my big, y'all, my biggest addiction is probably carbs. I love pasta, I love bread, like all of that. And I really hope that y'all can hear me because it is a lot going on in the background and it's windy, and I don't know what my mic is sounding like because a lot of times it be picking up like all of the noise in the background, you know. And so I hope that you all are not hearing any of that stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna go. Look, I'm like starving because I literally have not ate all day. Oh, whoa there. Let me make sure I'm speaking up loud enough so that y'all can hear me, because I do, hold on, people in the background. Yeah, I want to make sure y'all can hear me. But yeah, this is the green Cobb salad. So it comes with avocado, chicken, tomato, eggs. And I'm kind of upset because I wish I would have asked for some whatchamacallit. Now what? Panera. What is this gonna do? I just look, I got my, okay, I'm gonna guess that's like an acorn or something because it keeps doing that. So this is the thing, I do really be eating like a bird sometimes, so I'll always put like the salad dressing on half of my salad and then save the rest of it because I know I'm probably not gonna eat it all. Hold on, y'all. So, but the thing is, I asked for extra dressing and they gave me a little sliver. That's already good though. Yes, I'm like addicted to Panera. I don't know why I never liked Panera before. I was sleeping on it for real. Oh shoot, I'm trying to do all that. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna take a couple bites. And then I'm gonna get into what we're gonna talk about today. I start eating and can't even talk. How are y'all doing? Again, I hope I'm speaking up. Like, I pray because sometimes I be recording, and that's actually goes right into what I want to talk about today. And I will like record and record, and I'll record, and if it's like one little thing that's off that I don't like it, I throw it in the trash. But I can't be like that, you know? This is a vibe. My green tea, my green salad, okay? My green sweatshirt that I got from Target from the kids section. I didn't realize it was in the kids section. If y'all anything like me, y'all know how okay, sorry, I thought these people were coming over here. So how easy it is to go into Target and get lost in the sauce of just everything that's in there. So I don't know how I ended up seeing this in the kids section, but hey, I didn't actually know I was originally in the kids section, but hey, it's a large. And it's tight on me, but we went with it. Y'all, yeah, it's amazing how your taste buds change when you get older. But I guess that's any kid who doesn't really like to eat green stuff when they're a child, you know. But like for me, like I really did not like tomatoes. Well, wait, I say green stuff, then I go into talking about tomatoes. I just didn't like vegetables, you know. And I love me some avocado now. I'm so extra. Okay. Yeah, this hit the spot. Lord Jesus, please don't let there be no bugs trying to attack. I can't do it. Okay. So how's everybody doing? Okay, you know, I hope that y'all are staying safe, staying sane, staying, you know, in good spirits. And if you're not, understand that that is okay to not always be happy all the time, you know. Acknowledge those feelings, but because to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily, I'll be like in full transparency, full honesty, I'm not gonna say I've been in bad spirits, because I mean, the last video I made, I really was kind of in a weird place, but now I find myself getting out of it. But it's always like extremes, you know, like one day I feel like I'm like really, really great, and other days it's just like I feel like I'm all over the place, you know. And when I say all over the place, like I just feel not like myself, you know. And heck, I think that's part of why I feel weird sometimes, is because like I feel like I'm in a, you know, discovery stage of like, who am I, who is she, you know, type situation. While I know certain aspects, there's a lot that I realize I still don't know about myself, you know. And so, ugh, what the heck was that? Oh, you know what? Is that bacon? Anyways, there's a lot that I don't know about myself, and I'm realizing that that's okay. I feel like in different stages of our lives, you know, like God reveals to us just different depths of ourselves, you know, because he knows, like, if there's certain time he would have gave us certain things, like would have jacked it up. So that discovery period has been very, very interesting, honestly, you know. My eyes is probably watery. Ooh. The wind keeps blowing in my face, and it is allergy season. So when y'all see people around like me that's sniffling and stuff, sometimes it's not the Rona, okay? It's allergy season, okay? But anyway, I said all that to say to get started about the conversation that I wanted to talk about today. And I wanted to talk about self-sabotage versus self-care. I also wanted to discuss like spiritual warfare. And I may, depending on how long this video is, I may talk about, well, not may, I mean, I'm gonna talk about it, but like, it may have to be a different video where I go a little bit more in a little more in depth, just like my feelings towards the election. But in all actuality, it's really not a lot to talk about, because it's all foolish. And when it's really said and done, I'm really not for either of them, like, but I'm a vote. These past 4 years have been cray-cray, but I don't know. the politics behind just everything. The politics. That's a lot. A lot to talk about. Sorry, y'all. I'm paranoid after I saw that little spider ant situation. It's a lot to talk about. So, yeah, we'll see how the conversation goes. But anyways, okay. So today I wanted to talk about self-sabotage versus self-care. So that's the first part of this, because, and I honestly feel like it all kind of ties into each other, but you know, I'm gonna try to tackle one thing at a time so I don't feel like I'm all over the place, even though as I'm talking we'll see how that goes, because I feel like it's gonna be all over the place because my thoughts and feelings sometimes feel like they're all over the place. And so that goes into kind of what I'm talking about when it comes to self-sabotage. Like, so in this season I've been in a space of where, well, let me say this. My word for 2020 was alignment, okay? And while there's been a lot of things around me that's been falling apart, when it comes to like myself and just like the things around me, I've been feeling like oh Jesus, oh Jesus, this is going bad, it's going bad, it's going bad. Oh my God. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, no, I'm done. I'm done with the mukbang. No, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Jesus, Jesus. Ah! Oh my God. This went left. That went left. Oh, Jesus. Okay, look, y'all. I'm about to, hold on. Something's gotta give, because this, hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. So, I don't even know what to do, because, let's see. Okay, y'all. I'm about to thing just went left because, one, it's two, it was, ooh, hey, melanin, okay. So, okay, I think I low-key got it together. I don't know, but I'm gonna stand here and talk because it was starting to go left for real when I was trying to eat my Panera, okay. And yeah, so it's a lot kind of going on at this park. So I'm trying to think if I want to go stand somewhere else, because it's some people that's walking this way. So hold on, y'all. I'm on the struggle bus right now. Okay, y'all, I had to exit where I originally was because it was a lot going on. Now I can't see low key. I need to get in some shade. Woo, child. Okay, so you know, I apologize for all of the foolishness that you all participated in just then, but hey, it's honestly really quite funny because what I'm talking about is like literally I feel like I'm tested in a sense, like when it comes to just certain things, because it's like there's certain topics that I want to come on and I want to discuss with y'all, but I feel like, well, you know, if it's something I'm still dealing with, then like why should I come on and talk about it, right? But I think that that's where like God has really in this season been pushing me out of my comfort zone, because he's basically been telling me like, you know, you can't keep waiting on perfect, and you can't keep, you know, sabotaging yourself in certain ways from overthinking or, you know, trying to have everything a certain type of way. And he tested me even as I'm filming this video, y'all. Even as I'm filming this video, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the park, I'm gonna have this perfect little setup with this in the background, this, you know, I'm gonna have my Panera, and the bugs wouldn't let me be great, okay? The bugs would not let me be great. So that's why I'm standing up right now, and it's cool, even though my eyes is watering because the wind is like woof, but it's cool. We gonna work with it. But that was a problem. This is a prime example of like what God has been showing me in this season, is just the fact that like everything doesn't have to be perfect. And it's weird because, you know, I don't really consider myself like a super organized person. It wasn't something that I grew up really learning, and that's another topic for a whole nother day too, when it comes to just, that's a whole nother topic. We're not gonna get into that. But you know, of course at some point it's like, hey, you know, there are times where I do be feeling like I'm all over the place at times, but even in the all over the placeness, I don't think that's a word, but it's still like organized chaos in the fact that like, you know, I want things a certain way, you know, and like that can be in a lot of different spectrums of my life. But you know, let's just discuss like YouTube, for example, and recording and like things like that. Like I always felt like, okay, I have to have this perfect background, I have to look a certain way, you know. Y'all, there would be times where I literally would be like, I'm not gonna record because I got a pimple on my face, or like if I do record and there's like one little thing that throws off, that I feel throws off the video, it may not even be something else anybody else can see, but if I feel like it does, you know, then I'm like, screw it, throw the whole video away. So, you know, the problem with that comes into, you know, just the producing aspect of things. And then that's another thing I want to talk about too, like when it comes to consistency. And I think that I really struggle sometimes because it's like the consistency versus authenticity, and it can all correlate, but then sometimes it doesn't. And I'll get into that point in a minute too. But anyways, you know, going back to my original point of what I was saying is like, even in me filming this, like God was really testing me, like, okay, you want to talk about this? Well, you know, like I said, I almost got attacked by these bugs, and the Lord knows if there's one thing Millie is afraid of, it's snakes and it's bugs, and I don't do neither or, okay? But I guess I should have figured, of course, me being like outside, you know, in nature, that of course it's gonna be bugs. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Oh my God, I say that as a bug literally just flew in my eye. Okay. This is too much, this is too much. So anyways, I said all that to say, so I think that that's something, one of the biggest lessons I'm learning in this season is like the process, like not being afraid of the process. And when it comes to the process, like not being afraid to share your true feelings in the midst, because I think a lot of times like people always see the person that's made it, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, and that is subjective to every person. But society, I guess, has a criteria, you could say, that says and categorizes that this person has made it, right? And so we'll see all these people that we think have quote unquote made it, and you know, it looks easy in a sense of like, oh, they got it all together, but then like you didn't see the nights that they was on the ground, you know, crying to God like, what am I doing? You didn't see the hard parts, you know. And that's why social media sometimes really can be detrimental if you aren't able to separate the two, because it really is a highlight reel, you know. And so like, I think that that's where God has been working on me with, and I hadn't realized how much I feel like I have been conditioned to that perfect social media image, or feeling like, oh, I have to have this in place. Let me turn this a little bit because the sun. Like, oh, I have to have this in place, or I have to do this a certain way. And you know, in those moments, like, God was just showing me like, girl, like, just talk. Just do it, you know. Like, you're so concerned with like, you know, the perfect aspect that it debilitates you sometimes, to the point where it's like, I don't even want to put nothing out there, because I'm always constantly critiquing it, or critiquing myself, or just, you know, feeling like, again, I have to have the, or feeling like, again, like everything has to be perfect. And like, that to me is unrealistic. But I'm just being honest of the fact that like, that was for a while, and still sometimes even now that I think like that. And it's something I've really been working through, because I'm like, you know, I don't, that was part of why I wanted to create a YouTube channel in the first place, was literally just for me to like, one, push myself out of my comfort zone, because I felt like for a long time like I didn't have a voice. And it wasn't that I didn't have a voice, but it was more so like, I feel like I let other people's expectations of me, or other people's insecurities at times, just being all the way 100, you know, like affect my voice in a way that made me feel like I shouldn't say certain things, or I shouldn't express myself in, you know, the way that I try to now, you know. And it's still a struggle for me, because I think when you're in that space of being like that for so long, like, it really does take that time of introspection to really figure out like, okay, why was I so afraid to express myself, and why was I so afraid to just honestly speak the truth? And I realized a lot of it, looking back, it really was out of just like feeling like I was gonna offend somebody, you know. And then also I also realized, like, you know, it's funny, I saw this post the other day, and it was saying how basically, like, you know, people will call you like antisocial, or they'll like call you a certain name because or say that you feel like you're better than the next person just because you don't participate in the gossip and the conversations they be having, or, you know, you don't participate in the foolishness, you know. And I was thinking about that, because I'm like, I feel like, you know, in certain environments that I was in, that was part of the reason why I felt like my voice was kind of stifled at times, because like I was, one, participating in the foolishness because I didn't know who I was. And once I got away from that, and once I, you know, looked at it and unplugged from the matrix, I was like, oh, you know, this isn't me. This isn't this isn't the person I want to be known for. You know, this isn't me. This isn't like who I want to be known as. You know, I don't want to be known as a messy person. Like, I don't want to have to, you know, I don't want to just belong, you know, and I don't want to just like be afraid to go against the grain and like say the unpopular opinion just because, you know, this majority of the group I'm around has this certain type of mindset. Like, that's not me, you know. And I think that that's where going back to like that authenticity piece and that consistency piece, like that's something in this season, like really have been working on, because one, I understand that it's super important to be consistent, like especially with YouTube, like it's important to be consistent, but at the same time, and let me say this too, but then too, you know, the other part of me is like, I think I had mentioned this earlier, but I might end up cutting out some of that footage because it was at the beginning when I got attacked by the spider. But basically I was saying, like, I felt like, you know, when I wanted to start my YouTube channel, like it really was, I felt like God was like pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I had a lot of things on my mind. There was things that I wanted to say, and like I just felt like I needed that space, because before then it was, you know, other social media outlets, and it just was not good, okay? And I felt like I needed a productive way to express myself, you know. As I've been like doing more things with videos, like I really see that this is something I really am passionate about, you know, and it's something I really enjoy. I don't want it to ever get to the point where I feel like it's not fun anymore. It is a feeling of like, if I don't feel led to post something, then I don't want to post something just because I feel pressured to, you know. And granted, again, that's why I'm saying, like, these are feelings that I'm like working through currently, and I don't have the answers. So it's like, I'm just literally just telling you all how I feel when it comes to this particular situation, because it's like, it's hard for me, because again, consistency is key. Like I definitely understand that, but then I also feel like it's one of the, and let me say this, like, okay, let me tell y'all how I feel about this, okay? I don't want to get caught up, again, I don't want to get caught up in the matrix, okay? I just don't want to get caught up in feeling like I'm constantly in this state of busyness, and I'm constantly in this state of producing, but like, am I really in alignment? And that was my like word for 2020, was alignment. And when I tell y'all, things have been coming into alignment, they've been coming into alignment. Where there is stuff and chaos all over the place and things is falling apart, it's still coming into alignment, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, with that being said, I just want to make sure that, like, I'm just in a season where I really want to make sure that like what I'm doing is correlating with God's plan for me now, because I do feel like it can change, you know. There's time, like, what he may have me doing right now may be totally different 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. And that's why sometimes it really is hard for me to like even plan certain things, because I'm like, you know, the Lord will blow our minds when it comes to like, you know, just, you know, how we can make our own plans, but God will determine what the plan is actually going to be. There's been many times I've, you know, taken upon things and did it myself and been like, hey, or tried to like do something and say that like, oh, God told me to do this, and in reality, like, God didn't tell me to do that. Like, God did not tell me to do that. I did that myself. So it's like, I'm constantly trying to like figure out, and, you know, really in this season, just like when it comes to like my discernment, that is something I've really been focused on, because I just don't want to be out of alignment. Like, I feel like I spent a lot of years of my life being out of alignment, and I could see why my life was in shambles, okay? And like I said, I made a bunch of plans and I put my stamp of approval on it, but I wasn't really in alignment in reality, you know. And so, you know, I said all that to say, I think it's just important when you're doing anything, like, because I think society has made it to where it's like we have to constantly be on the go, we have to constantly do this, we have to constantly be busy. And I think if nothing else, 2020 has shown me, like, one, slowing down and really being able to be silent and be able to listen to, and, you know, I personally believe in the Lord Savior, Jesus Christ above, you know, but just being able to like listen to his leading and like actually really do what he's telling us to do. And sometimes that can be hard, because it's like while I am, I feel like I'm in a better space with my relationship with God, there's still a lot of times where I don't know if it's like I'm hearing his voice or I'm hearing my own voice, or if it's just some other voice that I don't even know. But it can be kind of difficult sometimes to like figure that out. And so that's the space I'm in right now. It's just like really making sure that I'm in alignment, because even going back to YouTube, like if this is something that God don't want me to do, I don't need to be doing it, because guess what, I'm gonna be wasting my time, okay? And I don't want to waste any more time. Like I don't want to be in a space of doing things that have no substance in my life, you know what I'm saying? And it's more so like really just in a place in my life where, I mean, this is gonna sound super cliche, but I really don't care, but it's true. Like I really just want to be in my purpose and be walking in my purpose. And again, that's where sometimes it's a struggle for me, because I feel like I have so many things that like I want to do, so many things that like I feel like God has called me to, but it's like determining and discerning of the season that you're in, I think is very, very important. Because if we move out of turn and out of step with God and we just go and do our own thing, like, you know, yeah, it may for a while work, but like a house built on faulty ground is gonna crumble at some point, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's like, for me, if I am doing something, I just want to make sure I'm in alignment. And it can be hard, and I think that that's where honestly, like my number one priority in this season has been just working on, has been from, you know, just hearing from God more and doing better, you know? Like I just want to do better, because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. I say this on every video because I really like, I just hate when people will see a person or see their social media and like feel like, oh, they got it together, when in all reality it's like, I'm figuring things out. Everybody else that you see on the gram, these celebrities that y'all idolize, like they're figuring it out too, you know? And the moment that you put somebody up here, like, you know, doesn't really give a person any chance to make any mistakes, because at that point it's like, you know, you've kind of made them a idol in a sense, to where they can do no wrong. And I think that that's very toxic at times, because it's like, it goes back to what I was talking about with like the perfection culture of feeling like, you know, everything has to be a certain way, like with me, you know, and I see how it's affected me. So I see how that can continuously be like a cycle that we're gonna have to constantly break through, because we, you know, social media has us fooled, okay? That's all I got to say with that. Sorry y'all, I had to move because clearly me recording and people don't care. But I'm gonna finish up what I'm saying real quick. Anyways, that's why it just really boils down to the fact that like, you have to do what's best for you, okay? Like, you really have to do what's best for you, and what works for one person may not work for the next person. Let's see, how's this gonna look from this angle? Okay, going back to what I was saying. Hope y'all can see me, because again, I had to move since people don't want to respect me standing here like I'm invisible. Okay, anyways, let me wrap up what I was basically saying. Like, I don't know, like, you have to do what works best for you at the end of the day. Like, what works for Sally Sue and them may not work for you, and that's completely fine. Like, and let me say this, like, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so it's not a competition, you know what I'm saying? And you see people and you're like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. And yeah, if God is telling you to do that, then do that. But like, if you don't feel led to do certain things, like, don't beat yourself up and feel bad because you see what everybody else is doing. You really have to do what works for you, because you know, there's people that like, they put out content every week and multiple times a week, and that's amazing, you know, and you can look at those people, and some of the people that do that I know, and they really are genuine people, and I know that the content that they're producing is genuine. But then I also follow people that, like, you know, look at who's an example, like Bryson Tiller, for example. Him as an artist, like, you know, he's Trap Soul. Can we talk about Trap Soul? Can we talk about his new album Anniversary? Okay, like, he was talking, I remember watching his interview and he was talking about that, like how basically, you know, he put all this pressure on himself to basically make like another Trap Soul, and that wasn't what it was supposed to be. And 5 years later he ended up making Anniversary, and I really enjoy Anniversary. Like, I really enjoyed it. But had he, you know, just put, I mean, he had to put something out because of his label requirements at one point. So I remember him putting out that album, but again, I really don't. So I remember him putting out that album, but he wasn't really happy with it. And you know, even with Anniversary, and people was still like trying to rush him to make Anniversary, like, he was like, you know what, no, I'm not going to rush this, you know. He wanted it to be how he wanted it to be, and that's, to me, like, when it comes to art, it's like, you can't allow other people to, you know, mess with your head to the point where it's making you take away from the art that you're trying to produce. Because at the end of the day, like, it goes back to just like, what are you doing it for, you know? Like, if you're genuinely doing it to produce great art, and if it takes you more time to do so, like, don't just put something out there because other people told you to do that, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's a balance though, because my overthinking be like, you know, months my overthinking sometimes is like, you know, weeks will go by, and in this Rona stuff, I don't even know what the day of the week it is sometimes. So I'll be looking up and I'm like, dang, it's been a month, and I'm like, I ain't posted diddly squat, and that's my overthinking taking over. And it's like, you know, that's not good either. So again, in full transparency, like, that's what I'm working on, just trying to kind of find that, I guess you could say, balance between the consistency and authenticity piece. And that looks different for everybody, you know, and that's why I said you really have to find what works for you. Because again, you know, you don't want to be out here like what's that Drake song, doing it for a Louis Bell. My dog will do it for a Louis Bell. That's all he know. He didn't know nothing else, okay? He didn't know nothing else, so that's what he did, okay? Like, you don't want to be like that. So yeah, like, I don't know, I guess those are just feelings that I'm personally working through. And you know, I guess this can kind of go into the conversation that I wanted to talk about when it comes to like spiritual warfare and like all of that. And honestly, I don't know how long this video is, so that might be a conversation for a different day. But like, yeah, it might be a conversation for a different day, because I don't want to be information overloading y'all, because I know how I can get. But I will say this about it, it's just like, you know, one, going back to just being in alignment, like, that's what I've been really trying to do in this season, because I don't want to be just doing stuff just to be doing it. Like, I don't, like, if we haven't learned anything else in 2020, it's the fact that our time is important, and we ain't got time to waste time, okay? We don't got time to just be doing everything, because God, to me, this is me personally, I feel like God has not called us to do everything, you know? And other people may think that, but I don't feel like that. Now, I feel like he's called us to have multiple things that we're good at, yes, but do everything? No. So just be mindful of that, like, and when you're thinking about the things that you're starting to do, or your calling and the things that you're good at, like, you know, just making sure that those things are in alignment with God's will for you personally. Because again, what may be for the good for the goose may be different for the gander, okay? okay, and you try to do stuff that is not for you, then you wondering why, you know, you really don't have peace. That's part of it, you know. And some people, you know, I don't know, it's not a real peace, you know. You can have peace, but like the peace that God gives us from like really doing what he tells us to do and not just doing what we want to do, and again putting our stamp on it and saying that God told us this. No, like really hearing from him and hearing what he wants us to do. Like I think that is just super important in this season, because again, like I just want to be in alignment. And going back to what I was going to say about like spiritual warfare, that is a conversation within itself, because like I said, like I think that's a topic I want to talk about in a different video, because it's so many things that I just see like our culture, because we are so like, I'm gonna say it because this is part of the problem. I always feel like there's a certain level of like, sometimes I think what holds me back is like that level of transparency it requires to say certain things, but then it's like I'm always in the back of my head constantly like analyzing everything that I say, because it's like I don't want to offend this person, or I don't want this person to get mad or whatever. And it's like sometimes, you know, when God puts something on your heart to say, it's not always going to be the popular thing. And like I'm constantly like, Lord, like why me? Why you want me to say some of the things you be wanting me to say? Because I really don't be wanting to say some of these things. Like I really don't even want to touch and talk about certain things, because it's like I already know that certain people aren't going to, you know, maybe take it well and whatever. And in reality, this is the thing, like when I come on here and I'm talking about something, I wanted this to be a space for me to share just the current things that's going on in my life, my current thoughts towards things that I'm learning during this time. And you know, it's never me getting on here trying to like throw shade or talk about the next person, but it's one of those things, it's the next person, because like one, I mind the business that pays me. I ain't got time to worry about what everybody else is doing, okay? I just don't got time. And I ain't thrown shade since I was probably like back in like 2016, when I was still young and fresh out of school. And I did that because I was surrounded by people that did that type of stuff, okay? Not making excuses for it, because I'm my own person, I make my own decisions, but I'm just keeping it 100. So it's gotten to the point where it's just like, you know, I can't be responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm saying something, I'm talking from my personal experience, literally. Like, if I'm dealing with something or I'm talking about a certain topic, it's literally either something I'm working through or something I've worked through before. So if there's a certain thing that tugs at you that's like, and it offends you, it's a hard check sometimes that you have to do with yourself, because you know, even myself, I have to do that with myself sometimes. Like I ain't been on social media like that because it was a lot. It was starting to become a lot. But like there's been times where, you know, I saw something or just been on, you know, TikTok, for example, saw a video, and what they were saying was very true, but my flesh didn't want to hear it, because you know, it was something that I needed to deal with, and I needed to hold myself accountable for, because I was so caught up in the whole like not wanting to be wrong, or just you know, not wanting to address that part of myself. Like I took offense to it, and like I had to really check myself in those moments, and I still do sometimes, because it's like the truth doesn't always feel good, and that's just what it boils down to. And how can we expect to grow if we are constantly just burying things and you know, living in this fantasy land? That's not where I feel like we need to be. And it's also, you know, I look at it from the perspective of like a spiritual perspective of just like when it comes to like my relationship with God personally, like God, he be whooping my literally, he be whooping my butt when it comes to certain things. Like, it's certain things I be doing sometimes, and I know, and because he'll talk. I know the way now that God speaks to me, so like he'll talk to me and be like, girl, you know you shouldn't have did that, and you still went and did that. Nobody told you to go and do that. And then I'm mad at a choice that I made, you know. And it's like God be like, what is you doing, sis? What is you doing sometimes? And so, you know, just like how as a kid, for example, how God will correct us. Just like as a kid, what I was saying, I had to move again because I was being attacked again by gnats. So yeah, going back to what I was saying though, I basically was just saying how like, just the same, okay, for example, basically God whooping my butt. That's what I was talking about. Like, God will, the same way that like as parents, right? And I'm not a parent, so I can't speak on parenthood, any of that. But you know, just the same way that like as a parent you discipline your children sometimes, like God does the same thing with us, you know. And there's times where God will correct me and it doesn't always feel good. So it's like, those are things that I have to remind myself, even when it comes to like me saying certain things or presenting things a certain way. Like, I understand more that like I really just have to do me when it comes to like being spirit-led in what it is that I'm supposed to be saying, but not getting caught up in overthinking it and thinking about all of the aspects of how somebody's gonna feel about it. Because one, somebody's always gonna feel some type of way about something you're doing, and that's just point blank period, you know. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much again, going back to kind of what I was saying in regards to like the whole spiritual warfare thing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's another thing that I feel like people a lot of times really don't talk about, or like to kind of think that it's fake, you know. Like, and I feel like now it's so many people that are like, we're led astray in certain ways, because it's a good thing that our society, of course, like, you know, we are accepting, but then it's like there's a lot of people I feel like that are dibbling and dabbling in all these little things, and it's kind of like they're doing it because it's a trend, you know. And then it's like, is it really it's a trend, and then the warfare that they're attracting is like crazy, because they don't even realize the type of stuff that they're getting involved in. And that's why I said, y'all, I'm gonna wrap this up, because I'm gonna have to talk about that in a different conversation, because I think that needs its own separate video. Because for me, like, one, spiritual warfare is real, okay? I don't care what nobody says. The devil's real, God's real, Jesus, all that is real. And y'all can keep calling it energy, whatever y'all want to call it, but certain things, you know, and this is from somebody that, you know, when I was younger, like, I used to get attacked all the time. Like, and my mom, you know, the warfare on her life, which I'm realizing now, like, you know, my mama would see demons, things like that when she was younger. And even me talking about this, like, some people, it's gonna go right over their head, because people have a surface level relationship with God at times, and we get so caught up in the law, we get so caught up in that religious spirit, that we miss the new ways that God is trying to move in our lives, because we're so caught up in that, you know. And so that's a conversation for another day too. But it's just like, yeah, like, it's real. So it's like, I you know, I feel like that's something that God wants me to talk about, because we do willy-nilly just be doing stuff, and it ain't got nothing to do with the Lord, and we wondering, you know, why our life is chaotic, okay? And my life is chaotic sometimes, but like, I don't want it to be chaotic just like because I'm messing with evil spirits, okay? I want it to be like, well, I don't want it to be chaotic in general, but like that's one reason I sure don't want it to be chaotic, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's a conversation for a different day again, because you know, it's yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, and I feel like it's already probably at the hour mark. So I say all that to say again, and this is me telling myself this as I'm telling y'all this, like, stop overthinking it, okay? Stop overthinking it. It's okay if it doesn't always come out the way that you want it to come out. If it doesn't sound the way that you think it should sound, it's okay, okay? The world's not gonna end if you post something and it's not how you think it should be, right? But on the flip side of it, I also do still think that if you are in a place of, you know, as a creative, and you don't feel led to share something with the world that you've been working on at a certain time, don't let other people rush you. You know, don't just post it because again you feel like, oh well, I haven't posted in a while, or oh this, like it may not be time for you to do so. So that's what I'm saying, like for me personally, I just want to be in alignment, and I want to be spirit-led when it comes to the decisions that I'm making, when it comes to just all aspects, because if we're not in alignment, a lot of times we end up really wasting more time in the end, because we're doing things that we weren't supposed to do in the first place, and then we're wondering why we're burnt out and we're tired because we're doing all this stuff that we wasn't even supposed to do in the first place. And that's where, you know, that's why I'm in a season of just like really working on being in tune, because like I don't want to waste time. You know, I don't want to waste time in this season. I don't want to be in situations that don't serve me. And it's not about me, but it's just like, you know, the things that God calls us to, he calls us to for a reason, because there is a certain people or population or whatever that he's assigned us to, right? So if we are out of alignment and we're just willy-nilly doing stuff because we feel like we know what's best to do, and we ain't consulted it with the Lord, or again, like I said, just putting our stamp of approval on something, a plan that we came up with, then in actuality, you know, we're really wasting time because we're doing stuff that we have no business doing. So I said all that to say, you know, I just hope as you all are, you know, exploring your gifts, exploring your talents, like, you know, really pray and ask God to show you what those things are and show you the season. Because for me, it's like I feel like I have so many things that I want to do, and you know, not to have a big head to be like, oh, you know, God, I have all these gifts, which I feel blessed because I do feel like God has called me to a lot of different avenues in different ways. But at the same time, you know, it's a time and season for everything. So you really have to be discerning of what that time is and what that looks like for you. Because again, it may look different for everybody, and you don't want to get caught up because you are too busy trying to run somebody else's race, and God did not tell you to do that, okay? So we got to think about that. We got to think about those things. But again, I hope that you all are, again, staying safe, staying sane in the middle of all of this foolishness. Again, I'm gonna make I also said at the beginning of the video I wanted to talk about the election, which I kind of did, but like yeah, that's I think that's a separate video in itself too. So without this video again being too long, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And so I hope that you all got something from this, because again, I knew in my brain, I was like, I felt like this video is probably going to be a little bit all over the place just because I personally feel like that, but I didn't want to just, you know, not share how I was feeling because of that, or run from those feelings, because again, you know, sometimes that's what people need. Like, because again, you know, I want to see the what's the word I'm looking for, I guess, put together person, but I also want to see the other side of that, you know, of it being okay to just come as you are. You know, that's what they say in church, okay? So why don't we do that? So I hope that you all, you know, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you decide you're doing. And thank you all for tuning in. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.